Hi, this is Zoe with 4K Shooters. I'm at Photokina 2018. This is the Canon stand, and I'm here with Mike from Canon, and we'll talk about the new Canon EOS R. How you doing, Mike?
I'm not too bad, sir.
As we can all see, the stand is massively busy as usual.
Yeah.
Big announcement for you guys. Why is the new EOS R the future?
Basically, the whole concept of the product was for the engineers to look at where we went in the future. That's how this started off. And mirrorless is a consequence. It wasn't, we set out to make a mirrorless camera. The idea was to what is the future of what allows us to do more creative with lenses, what is going to open up possibilities, and the EOS R was the response to that brief.
Speaking of lenses, can you give us more details on the new mount?
The new mount, the RF mount is, obviously we've gone for a 20mm flange back distance, so it's much shallower than the EF, which then allows us to have the lenses closer to the sensor. That opens up a whole range of creative freedom for lens design. And we can see that in the lens that we've launched. So we've got two hero lenses, I call them, which is the 50mm 1.2, which has unbelievable image quality and very fast aperture. And then something like the 28-70 f2, which no one's ever done a zoom more than like 2 times magnification before. So this lens really kind of sets up a new era of kind of what is possible. But we've also done things like the 24-105, which is a very popular lens for most video guys. We've tried to make that as better but smaller. So it's got the nano USM, so it's super quiet, super smoothing. We've looked at things like the aperture control, so it now moves an 1/8 of a stop. So again, when you change aperture, normally video, they move in a 1/3 of a stop, so you get that pulsing and that brightness. 1/8 of a stop, you get a very smooth aperture change, like a proper cine lens, but automatic. And you also get really weird, crazy aperture numbers like a f5.6 3/4. It's all a bit Harry Potter. And those kind of things. And we've also tried to make the 28-70 and the 24-105 as parafocal as we can as well. So video is kind of in the part of the plan for the lens design as well.
Thank you for that, Mike. I mean, I do agree. Canon's always made some of the finest lenses in the world. There's hundreds of thousands of your EF lenses. But speaking of EF lenses, lots of people own them and potentially looking to switch to the new system. Yep. What can they do?
Basically, the cool thing about the camera is it's actually bilingual. Basically, it speaks EF and RF. So when you put an RF lens, it speaks the new high-speed, fast language. When you put an EF, it speaks natively. So therefore, the adapter is really a dumb adapter. It's talking through the adapter. There is no translation chip in the middle. And any translation, as you know, something can go horribly wrong in the process. So there's no extra complexity in it. So therefore, however well your lens worked on your EF body will work as well, if not better, on the RF bodies.
And you guys have done some very interesting designs with your new adapters. Can you give us an idea of how many?
So we've got 3 adapters. We've got the everyday standard adapter, which will provide free of charge in the box for the starting period. So then we have the one of the cool things about the lens is a control ring that has it can be set to do different functions. So obviously if you want an aperture, and that is on one of the control rings, so you can bring that functionality to your EF lenses. And I think the one that everyone in the video industry kind of likes is the drop-in filter holder, and the one that stands out is the one with the variable ND. So you actually get variable ND with any EF lens. But it also appeals to photographers because you can use it with architectural lenses like the 11-24 or the 17mm, where filters were impossible to fit previously because of the domed front elements.
It's a very interesting design, especially on the filter that you can drop the ND in because it's behind the lens, so obviously less possibility of light refractions and all that.
Yeah, and it's also the fact that it's again looking at the project and looking at the technologies. Like we've got this spacer, what can we do with it? Well, it's not put a filter in there, and it's we do the same things with our super telephoto lenses. It's applying a technology we already had, and going, why don't we just put it there? Oh yeah, it's so obvious, and it's bringing all the different lens division and broadcast together. So the EOS R is much more universal project than many of the Canon cameras. We've brought in people from different divisions, and they're all talking, and ideas are sparking all the way through the product.
Sounds like a pretty smart system, and this is the first of a whole new line.
Yeah, this is the first. We have to start somewhere in the line. Everyone always wants the camera that's perfect for them. We kind of looked at the project when we started off, and we worked out what sort of market we wanted to target at, and that was the advanced enthusiast photographers who are at the core of Photokina. And then we looked at what are their priorities, and you can see that in the specification. So maybe for some of your viewers, there's like 4K was a tiny percentage, and video was only about 20%. And also card slots. So all these things pushed down, but what was important to them was focusing, usability, compatibility, the interface, the viewfinder, and the screen. All these were more important to those kind of users, and so we had to look at those features and balance them around and make some hard decisions on what we prioritized and what we kind of relegated to a lowest ranking in the specifications.
From what you're saying, I can definitely see that from your perspective it does make sense, and you know how it is. It's a pretty polarizing camera. There's lots of opinions online, and yes, in the 4K kind of video department, there are some limitations compared to some of the other manufacturers out there. However, this is the first of a few cameras.
The first, and Canon aren't deaf. We understand. And today, just we could launch this product for a particular target market doesn't mean we're not going to launch a product that's aimed at a market that might suit them. It's just day one. We will build the system, we will build the cameras, but to day one, this is what we're launching, and this is the building block, this is the foundation. We have to start somewhere, and this is where we are today.
It will make for a perfect vlogging camera. I mean, it has the fully articulated screen.
It's funny that the 62, when it came out, was slated on YouTube by certain people saying it's a terrible video camera, and then like a year later, everyone went, wow, actually, this is actually really good, and people, for some vlogging, 4K is wonderful as a creative medium, but it's not great for certain people because the workflow, how people are looking at their content, why, 4K is just too much for what they need. 4K is brilliant for certain aspects, but not everyone needed it. And suddenly they went this direction, they went, this is too much work, and they've gone back and they found the 6D2 was perfect for them, and this is a follow-up to that sort of kind of product.
Obviously, the camera outputs 10-bit 422 signal to an Atomos Ninja 5 and potentially future recorders coming out of different companies, not just Atomos. But are there any other plans, anything you can share with us of what we can expect in the future? I mean, just broad strokes, or right now this is what we get?
Well, at the moment, we will expand the system out. We are looking at going lower. We are looking higher. We are obviously looking at all the technologies. So just because it's not in the body today, there's things like image stabilizer. We realize for video operation, it's quite important, but for still shooters, it's less important. Where opticals will be better for them. So we'll look at everything. Nothing's off the table. Dual card slots for the future for a product that's aimed at the professional. Obviously, that's obviously a done deal. For an entry-level user, it will be a single card slot. So we're looking at the products and building the products for what the user wants. And we'll see some of the features that people are asking for will kind of be, will be there when the product is aimed at that particular market.
Really appreciate your time with us. When is the product available and what's the price?
So sales start will be the first week of October. Price will obviously depend on per region, to be honest. So in Germany, the RRP sort of price, which I can quote at the moment, because we don't know how much it will go on the street, is about 2,300, but that includes the standard adapter in the box, so you can use all your existing lenses from day one.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mike. Excellent. Good luck. Enjoy Photokina.